Hey there. Welcome to the Pine Island Experience podcast. I'm Joanna Anderson with my husband, Trygve. Each of our episodes will be conversations with fellow Pine Islanders.
The goal of our podcast is to share with you our experiences, what we have found to be fun, and what makes the Pine Island experience so unique.
I love the personal interaction where it's the old teacher in me, and I like to see the light bulb go on when they realize something they've heard about all their life, maybe something they've actually done, some place they've actually been, and now they get the real story of how it came to be. And you can see their look on their face when they go, oh, is that how it happened? Oh, is that how we got there? There's nothing like that. Teachers love that. That's a teacher moment that usually only teachers get to have. And so I get to have that.
You just heard from Robert N. Macomber, Pine Islander, award-winning author, and master of maritime historical fiction. His 17-book honor series has captivated readers following the incredible journey of Peter Wake through moments of real history. His fans, called Wakians, are known to follow him around the world. And now, here's Robert. Robert N. Macomber has joined us today, award-winning writer of historical fiction of the nautical variety and lecturer. You've been in many documentaries. We'll get into all that, but we're so excited that you're here today. Thank you for joining us.
Well, it's a great pleasure. Thank you for inviting me.
So we'll start in the beginning like we always do. So we'll start in the beginning of you being on Pine Island since you were here for many years. Can you tell us why you love living on Pine Island so much?
Well, I'll tell you that I ended up having to come up with a one-liner explanation to that very question. Many years ago, I was asked to be the guest author on the Queen Mary II for her maiden voyage, the third leg. And I was at, cocktail parties wearing a tuxedo. Now, nobody on Pine Island has ever seen me in a tuxedo. Most of the time, they don't see me wearing shoes. So people would say, well, this place that you're from, what's that like? And I'd say, at that point, I was living on Matlacha Island, actually. And I'd say Matlacha Island is the kind of place that you don't have to wear shoes and you can take your dog with you into the bar. And I like that. I travel all around the world. I've been in 74 countries. I love coming home because this is where I grew up, this coast, these islands. So that's why I love it. It's calm. It's real. People here are very real.
With the 17 books that you've published, can you tell us why honor is in the title of all the books?
I came up with the concept for the series many years ago, almost 30. And I realized at that time that the concept of honor, which has always been an important part of my life and my professional life, really had become sort of quaint. It had been something that old people did. It was something that a lot of people couldn't really identify with. Honor, that was something from long ago. And that really bothered me. I knew a lot of people, men and women, that actually tried to live by the concept of honor. And most of them end up serving the greater good in a variety of ways. And so I decided that for the purpose of this series, each title would have honor in it. And I thought it would resonate. It also, from a practical point of view, it always helps if your titles have some connecting element. So it's easier for people to remember. So the honor series is easily remembered by readers that can't remember what the last book's name is, but he knows it's honor. Well, the librarians and the booksellers and everybody else knows, oh, that's probably Macomber's book. They'll look that up. Now, the series wasn't planned to be 17 at first. I was extremely fortunate. We had planned it to be maybe 3 or 4, but it kind of resonated with people, and they wanted to get more and more, and won some awards. The readership geographically expanded quickly, and so it ended up to be 17.
So you started the series with the Navy during the American Civil War period. What inspired that? And I kind of asked because what I remember is the Monitor and the Merrimack. And that's pretty much, at least what I had in school. So what did you know, or what attracted you to kind of focus on that area for your beginnings?
Well, my degrees are in history and political science. And I was writing articles about Florida history. And that's why I've done so many documentaries. I'm pretty well versed on Florida, especially coastal history. And nobody ever covered the Civil War in Florida, which bothered me because on this coast, we had lots of Civil War action. There were battles here. There were skirmishes, ambushes. Men died and were wounded here. This was serious stuff. The official records of the squadron that was headquartered in Key West, the U.S. Navy squadron, and it worked this coast and the East Coast. The official records are 1,000 pages long. Full. It's a gold mine. It's full of fascinating stuff. And one of the fascinating things that I found out was that there was a guy named Macomber in this squadron. And back in the days when I was doing microfilm research, anybody remember that? And the little dials in the spinning reels, and you get mesmerized. And I was looking for keywords, and I saw my name. And I thought, whoa, now I'm trying to back up to find out if that man from my family was either getting a commendation or court-martial. Which was it? It could go either way. And so I found out it was a commendation. And he didn't make it through the war. He was one of the ones that didn't make it. And I dedicated my first book to him. But that made it personal. I would give lectures on Florida history and the history in this area, and people just didn't have a clue. So I decided that I would do a series of books, not on the Napoleonic period in the Royal Navy, which everybody had already done really well, but on the U.S. Navy in the Civil War here, which nobody knew about. And it really resonated. And, it took off, several awards, and I got more and more invitations, and things geographically expanded, and that's how it worked. But yes, I wanted to pick a spot that was actually pretty important and had a lot of drama and a lot of personal stories that nobody really knew. And I grew up here, and I knew about the southernmost land battle of the Civil War, Fort Myers, Florida, February 20th, 1865. Growing up here in Robert E. Lee County, I was told that it was a Confederate victory. Oops. When I got to the university, I found out it was not. It is, at the most, it was a draw. And it was ultimately ended by a thunderstorm. So those kind of things, even the people that grew up here didn't sometimes get the right story.
Now you have something called, or not you personally, but something's developed called the Wakian community.
Yes, I love my Wakians.
You want to talk about that a little bit? And then Are there any great stories maybe that you've got from interacting with fans and readers of the series?
Well, the statute of limitations is passed on most of it. But yes, the Wakians are my readers. They're all over the world. And they named themselves after the main character in my books, Peter Wake. Peter Wake is from New England. He's from Massachusetts. And he is sent to the hellhole of the U.S. Navy in the Civil War, Florida, and specifically Key West. Most people don't know that hundreds died in Key West from yellow fever. and this struck Key West and our coast every year in the summer, late summer, August, September, and it went on for hundreds of years. It was well known to be a fever-ridden coast. Nobody volunteered to come here, unlike now. So it's hard for people to understand how terrible it was. So Peter Wake is sent down here. He's been given command of a small vessel, and he gets in all the trouble. I write him into real history. He tells the story of real history through his experiences. And my readers ended up starting out, they were from this area, and then they expanded and got fascinated by this character because in the series, he gets older. It covers his entire life and his descendants' life all the way to 2023. So they end up identifying with the main character, which is exactly what I wanted them to do. And so they are very enthusiastic. They're Wakians. I'm going to be with some Wakians in about a month. And I'm guest author on the Queen Elizabeth. And they're coming with me to the Western Caribbean. I have some books that cover the Western Caribbean. And I'm really looking forward to being with them. I have a lot of fun with the Wakians. I've been with Wakians in Cuba, in the jungles of Cuba, in Havana. I've taken them on battlefields in Cuba. In Key West, we do a 3-day reader rendezvous in Key West. We've had many, many parties on Pine Island, and also in other areas. I've had a reader rendezvous in Washington, D.C., and reader rendezvous in various other places all over. And everybody has fun. I want my readers to have fun. There's none of this dull standing in line waiting forever to get your book signed. Nope. There's going to be music. There are going to be drinks. You may be in line for a little bit, but you'll be dancing. So that's why Wakians love the character. They love the books. They love the parties.
And they all have something in common, which...
very much so.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they must always...
And they've all traveled the world and never left their armchair, because my books take place all over the world.
Well, you also do lectures, documentaries, probably other things I'm not mentioning, but can you tell us, what do you enjoy most about bringing Maritime outside of your novels?
I love the personal interaction where it's the old teacher in me. And I like to see the light bulb go on when they realize something they've heard about all their life, maybe something they've actually done, some place they've actually been, and now they get the real story of how it came to be. And you can see their look on their face when they go, oh, is that how it happened? Oh, is that how we got there? There's nothing like that. Teachers love that. That's a teacher moment that usually only teachers get to have. And so I get to have that. I lecture on 73 different topics. I lecture around the world. I do a lot of lectures in the Pacific Ocean. And it's the same everywhere because the people that come to my lectures come there knowing they're going to learn, and they'll learn painlessly, and it'll be fun. And they're going to walk away knowing things they didn't know. And the old joke, which I sometimes use during my lectures, is I'm going to give you some life skills that will help you in any bar, pub, or tavern in the world so that you can come up and be the smartest guy in the room or smartest woman in the pub with this new knowledge that I'm going to give you. And I get emails back saying, you're right. Nobody knew this, and I got to tell them.
What are your interests outside of writing?
I grew up as a sailor early on, and I still get away and go sailing to the remote areas of this coast that only the people that grew up here know where they're at. They're not crowded with boats. They're not crowded with noise. And I can go and anchor. In fact, I'll be leaving tomorrow for a couple of days in the backwater, in the bayou countries. And I can completely relax, read my book, have a glass of wine, and unwind the same way as I have for the last more than 60 years.
And how do you people learn more about whether it's the books or the lectures or this upcoming cruise? What is the best or all the ways that people can learn about that?
Well, they can take a look at my Facebook page at Robert Macomber, and they can find out what I've just been doing and what I'm about to do. They can go to my webpage, which is real simple, robertmacomber.com, and they can take a look at what's on the calendar. There's a calendar there of months, things going on in the month. They can come to some of my lectures. I do lecture series in some well-known places in this area called Shell Point. If you've heard of Shell Point, there's a wonderful theater there, and all over the place. And if you're in that part of the world where I'm heading, look me up. Let's have a conversation. And also, I do a newsletter that comes out by email 4 times a year, seasonally, quarterly. And people can, there's a lot of photos in it of places that I've just come back from, lectures, lecture tours, book tours. And you can find out where I'm about to go in the newsletter, the website, on the Facebook page. So that's how I get the word out. And I also get to come on great programs like this and get the word out this way.
And I understand you're going to be at the Potter's Guild on the 15th of December. What can people expect at that in terms of your contributions?
Yeah, I think that's on Saturday the 13th.
Oh, 13th, excuse me.
So Saturday the 13th, starting at 10 o'clock, right here in Pine Island at Koucky Studios, which is a great place. And the people that come there, the vendors that come there, represent a lot of different artistic endeavors and genres, it's just so much fun to walk around. And a lot of times you'll see people there that you've seen on the island, but you had no idea they were an artist, or you don't know what their latest art is. So you get to see it there. So I'm going to have several of the titles of my books there, and I'm going to relax and be with my fellow islanders and have a great relaxing time from 10 o'clock until it shuts down about 2 o'clock.
Was there anything that we missed that you wanted to?
Oh, tons. So much.
Yeah.
Tons.
That was a bad question.
But that's okay. Well, people can come to Facebook. They can come to my webpage. They can come get my newsletter. They can come in person to ask me any question they want. I'll answer most of them, and we're going to have a good time. Okay. So I hope to see everybody at Koucky's, and come on over, have a good time, relax, see some great art, and meet even an island author.
Thank you very much. We've enjoyed it. We were so looking forward to this.
So was I. Thank you.
We hope you enjoyed our Pine Island Experience podcast. If you have any ideas for us, people to interview, or any comments, please feel free to email them to us at pineislandexperience@gmail.com. That's pineislandexperience, all one word, @gmail.com. Don't forget to like us, and you may subscribe to this podcast using all the major catchers like Apple iTunes, Google Podcasts, and Spotify. Thanks again for listening, and remember, island life is a constant vacation. We'll see you on the next podcast.